The way that we recommend to agencies, and in fact to marketers, to try and avoid this kind of situation, or at least manage this situation, is to make sure that from the very beginning of the relationship, a system is put in place along with the contract. Everybody spends a long time putting the agency marketer contract together, but they don't spend enough time on working out what's the methodology going to be of managing this relationship. How are we going to make certain that we're taking a proactive view? How are we going to make certain that all the key deliverables are met, etc., etc. So what we recommend from a working perspective is, in terms of the scope of work, it really needs to be very clear what the scope of work is going to be, and that's where the marketer must work very closely with their agency in order to develop that, because it's impossible for agencies to then plan their workload, plan the budget, plan the time. They can't do all of that without a scope of work. So a lot of time needs to be spent on that, and that doesn't cost money. That's just about spending that time at the beginning of the relationship, saying what is the scope of work and what are the immediate expectations, what are the long-term expectations, how will we evaluate all of this. Then the other thing we recommend is that every quarter, agency and client gets together and has what we call a pause and reflect session, where you look at what's happened so far, what's going to be happening for the next quarter, and then what's going to be happening for the rest of the year. And also during that period to then work out, okay, so how is the relationship working? Are we meeting our deadlines? And getting a frank input from the client. Now, that's quite difficult in a client-agency relationship scenario. Everybody tends to kind of skirt around the issue, in my opinion. So one of the things that my colleagues in the world who do this kind of work have invented, and we've all got different ones, we've invented, ours is called TLC. So it's a relationship review model which everybody completes independently, anonymously, online. There's about 60 questions dealing with all aspects of the relationship, whether it's cost, whether it's level of creativity, whether it's level of strategy, whether it's what are the personnel like working on the business, what are the personnel like on client side as well. And we examine every possible area of the relationship that could be making the relationship rocky. That information is put together, and the way it works is the marketer evaluates the agency and the agency evaluates the marketer, but they also evaluate themselves. So quite often when the marketer evaluates their own reaction to the questions and the agency evaluates their own reaction to the questions, it's interesting what comes out. And you often find that even among the various team members in an agency or in the client situation, there's disparity, and they're not necessarily all working cohesively. That can cause a relationship breakdown. So what we say is, let's find all of that out, let's surface it, and then let's talk about it. They can work it out for themselves, and certainly in days gone by, I think it was more possible. 20, 30 years ago, yeah, I think it was possible to do. But I think it's really difficult because the level of emotion that can create. This is a relationship. It's like a marriage. A relationship between an agency and a marketer is like a marriage, and you need a marriage counselor, somebody who will listen, who will ask questions, who won't necessarily tell anybody that they're wrong or right, but will help everybody to see perhaps a different solution. I'm not sure that can be done. It can be tried, and I'm sure there are agencies and clients who do that very well, but I'm not sure in the long term that that's really successful.